Good evening, everybody. I am Lauren Jones. Welcome to the Word on the Aft podcast. I'm here with my other two co-hosts, Corey Gilmore and Randy Anderson, and tonight we are going to be talking about the road to recovery after the COVID-19. COVID-19. When was COVID one? Anybody know?
Before Bill Gates got to it, I guess, allegedly.
Yeah,
Empire,
man.
slavery.
So, uh, obviously we're not there yet. We're still quarantined. Some areas have started to try to figure out kind of how they wanted to crawl out of this. I know I was reading an article today that California was kind of working on releasing people back to work and things of that nature. We'll see what happens. I mean, a lot of stories out there. Uh, about if this will go away and then come back or whatever the case may be. I have my wife had a close friend who actually went to New York, uh, and at least in New York, it is a pretty rough situation right now. The union nurses are quitting because they don't have enough PPE equipment to protect them. They have trailers outside of some of the major hospitals. Trailers, y'all. Trailers. It's dumping bodies as they die. People are dying in hospital lobbies, this, that, and the third. But uh, it'll be over at some point. So one of the big things that we've had to do because we've been quarantined is we've lost some of those
Hopefully,
services. Hopefully, yeah, we've lost some of those services that are near and dear to us. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, Keisha, Shay, and Becky, can't go get their nails done, can't get their eyebrows threaded, all that type of jazz. So I think one of the things that we could take away from this is that we have we do a lot of extra unnecessary unnecessary shit. So, for those of y'all that got y'all checks, I hope y'all plan on spending that wisely. For those of you that are waiting for your stimulus check, I hope you have a plan to use it wisely. Uh, because there's a lot of, obviously, the stimulus check it's a band-aid, for those that have been put out of work, it's a band-aid. But of course you're gonna take it because they basically sending it uh they send it anyway, but just know that those tax rebates that you normally get next year, uh you will not be getting next year. You'll still get a tax refund. I don't want to confuse it. You will still get a tax refund. You just will not get the rebates. So as we kind of we're gonna fast forward a little bit. Uh what do y'all think the road to recovery looks like? What how long do you think that the how long you think it'll be before the economy really starts to come back up?
Uh,
depends on what you think recovery is.
that's
It's
a
That's
never,
great
that
great point.
that's
Great
why I
point.
yeah.
got that's why I got the professor on here so you can spit knowledge to him.
What you think recovery is. I mean, it's stuff's gonna get higher. Like we said over and over again. The grocery stores. They're trying to.
Inflation.
We could be moving. They've been trying to crash the dollar for a long time. Could be moving toward electronic currency quicker than we
Cryptocurrency.
thought. You know what I'm saying? Like completely away from the dollar bills. It's just which is bad news. Which is bad news. It's all type of different things. Things aren't going to be the same. Uh, I mean, it shouldn't be the same to anybody who's what I'm saying who's witnessing what's going on right now, man. All our lives have just been completely changed. whether it's natural, whether it's something that was natural, whether it was man-made. Our lives are completely changed. Our We've been tested also. We've been tested on, you know what I'm saying, how we respond and how we respond to different things like this and, you know, to our government in situations like this. My question between this is, you know, what's the breaking point? What's the breaking point? They say everything. We can sit and cry about, you know, the doing mandatory or, you know, whatever human violation. You know, it's seen so many just in the past couple of weeks since we've been on. You know, you've seen just more, just piled on more, where they're just, it's basically a threat to your human rights, because, you know, we did that episode where we talk about how you know, complacency and things that are of convenience leads to your doom, because we don't want to take the proper steps, you know, and that's in our everyday life. Economy. So I mean, just get ready for, you know, get ready for more slavery, you know, debt slavery. But, you know, as far as, you know, turning back to normal, who knows? I saw a report they talking about it could be till 2022. What will you do? What will y'all do if that happens? You know what I'm saying? How will you survive? You know, you're going to depend on the government. It's getting real. It's getting real. You know what I'm saying? This stuff's right in front of our face, man. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah, like we said, man, you gotta be coming together, man, brainstorming. You're gonna have to learn how to farm and do all this stuff. And the best thing to do would be to get off the grid. But, you know, like, you know, that's like speaking, you know, ironically, it's like speaking Chinese to Americans right now. You know, that's not even, I mean, huh?
I said no pun intended.
What'd you say?
No pun intended.
Right. You know, that's the reality, man. That's the reality. If you want to, you know, you got to get out of this system completely, man. It's corrupt, man. It's corrupt from the beginning. I don't know, man. What you got, Randy, man? What you about?
So, yeah. Honestly, they say till 2022. But it took when our last quote unquote, or our last depression. You know what I'm saying? Because they call this one the Greatest Depression, or the lockdown depression, or whatever they call it. But the last one, it was like 2007, 2008. It took like 4 years for us to even get a semblance of stability. So honestly, they say 2022 would be probably the closest time. Now, I'm coming from the standpoint of somebody who's allegedly invested into the quote-unquote New World Order and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, via cryptocurrencies. So, I'm coming from the standpoint to where if everything is going the way it's going, if everything continues to go the way it's going, that you'll see cryptocurrencies sooner than later. And allegedly, a lot of these banks and these other sources of money will be lending or will be given liquidity to these cryptocurrencies, which will bring the U.S. Dollar down even more, but bring the economy up, because they will be lending money to everybody else. What?
Hey, you ain't even got to say New World Order. Just say the UN. It's not even, because when you say New World Order, it sounds real conspiracy-ish. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is say, you know, it basically is, but all you got to do is say the UN, United Nations agenda. You know what I'm saying? have a one world type of currency. You know what I'm saying? That they got control of all, where the bankers got control of all of that.
Right, correct.
It's right, because it's right there in their agenda. You know what I'm saying? You go to the United Nations page. You wonder who people wonder who the World Health Organization. That's a branch of the United Nations. Everything's right there on their website. All this stuff is not some old spooky type stuff. When we talking about Event 201, or ID 2020, where they talking about actually injecting ID, like this isn't this isn't something that's
that's
like
real.
Oh, I don't know, like what I'm saying. If anything, if it was a fraud, then you'd have to question why those websites were even built to begin with. The websites are right there. They give you all of the information that you need. It's sponsored by Bill Gates, sponsored by Microsoft. Bill Gates all of a sudden somehow has become the spokesperson for all of this. Somehow just out of nowhere, the computer geek has become the spokesperson for vaccinations and different things like that. There's all type of that. What's in the vaccination or whatnot can be debated, but that's a whole nother conversation. See, the problem is trying to force them on somebody and make it mandatory. You know what I'm saying? We can debate about what's inside and whether it's healthy for you, whether it's effective, but once you start making it mandated, now if a job or something like that wants to start doing that, and that's not to get too far off what you're talking about, Randy, I'll let you go back.
Oh, you good.
If a job wants to do that type of shit, then they got the right to do that. If the public school wants to make that happen, they've got the right to do that. That's why you put importance on to doing shit your own way. But you know what the people are gonna say? Well, I can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go to work, and it's always gonna be some type of excuse for these reasons. But the reality doesn't give a fuck about your situation, and that's the whole. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna take a village. If you think you can do it with your family by yourself or whatnot, then you got to make them things happening. But it's just these are just things that if you don't want to go that direction, I'm not saying you've got these options to go. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but just don't be mad. You know what I'm saying? Don't be mad in the end. You're going to get everything that you deserve. You know what I'm saying? So, but you keep going, Randy. I just had to, throw that because, we ain't got to stay. I don't like to say New World Order because it starts becoming spooky to everybody. Let's just name it exactly what it is. It's the United Nations, the UN.
All right, so the UN's global currency. I'll just say that. Boom. I'll just put it as global currency because that's technically what.
Hey, say that nigga gonna go back. This nigga went back and erased it and said, "No, I want to say you had to correct."
So cut me off. Let me show you.
Well, my bad. The
UN global currency. They all the same entity, man. But yeah, bro. Like literally, because over the last 3.5 weeks, I've been doing a bunch of research on cryptocurrencies and the people who are actually invested into these cryptocurrencies. And quiet is kept, there's a couple cryptocurrencies that are gonna pop within the next, I'll say, less than 6 months. Literally less than 6 months. And it's been big money transferred through these currencies over literally the last 2 weeks. And I mean, not no measly 1-2 million. I mean hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars have been transferred from X account to X account. And the crazy part is the banks, like when you're transferring that those amounts of money, when you're transferring it with a bank, cost you, let's just say, $200,000 just to transfer that money from one account to another account. You know what I'm saying? With this new currency, literally it's costing you 20-30 cents, if less, to transfer that amount of money to another account. So that automatically entices rich people And it can't even call it conspiracy, because the richest people in the world, the one percenters, are the already one percenters. They are all in this. They are all in. They may not tell you that they are, but they are all in this community. You know what I'm saying? They're all in these cryptocurrencies. They've been having meetings all week long. Well, I should say all last month and this month long. You know what I'm saying? Not just talking about the coronavirus or the Rona, but they've been talking about how we're going to get ourselves out of this debt. You know what I'm saying? How are we going to erase debt for small countries? You know what I'm saying? For 6 months, and or like if that was to happen. Now I'm getting into a whole bunch of deep stuff I probably shouldn't be getting to, but it's just a lot of stuff, man. 2022. You said what? I mean, man,
talk to him.
You would have to like pay attention to what's going on, or it'll go over your head, man. Like literally. Like I was saying, man, there's been talks today on the news where people were talking about the forgiveness of debts for small countries and for small countries. Then if that happens, the medium-sized countries are going to want their debts forgiven. And then if that happens, the bigger countries are going to want their debts forgiven. So literally they're talking about where everybody could be debt-free. And if that happens, Lord knows what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going to happen either.
It's the end. That's the end.
But it's just like these things are being talked about, and what everybody is paying attention to is, don't get me wrong, I'm on Instagram too, but these Instagram lives and stuff like that, and it's just so much information out here, dog. You gotta pay attention. That you gotta just be aware of. I'm not even gonna say pay attention to. You just gotta be aware of, man. And it's just a lot of information that I really can't say, that you would have to actually do the research yourself, man. Because me telling to everybody would be just like, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, you just have to do the research. But man, 2022, I would say is the best thing. So let me ask
a question.
What's up?
Let me ask a question. So Corey, you brought this up, so we'll dive into it a little bit. So there's an article out there that said Trump just refused to provide aid for the World Health Organization. WHO. What do you think about that? Because there's a lot of debate on, is Trump the right leader for this particular situation? We also have what I consider, at the very least, to be a Hitler move. Probably YouTube gonna get us to this one, but a move to really confuse the people and send the world into the U.S. into a tailspin, so he and his constituents can have full control. Do you think it was the right thing for him to deny funds to the World Health Organization?
Either way it goes, man, it's a pick your poison right there. Of course, you don't want the World Health Organization to you don't want them too much involved into your affairs. See, the problem with the World Health Organization is, like, they've been talking about them. They've been on notice, World Health Organization, the CFR, all the different groups. They've been put on notice. They have good intentions. I mean, what they say has the aura of good intentions, and it sounds like the right thing, but they do it under false pretenses. They do it under, they use manipulation to get what they want. So, what having the World Health Organization, like I said, this is everything that they've been talking about, everything that they've been that's been so to say being, conspiracy, things like that. This is the agenda that's been connected with them. Everything that you see going on, that's been connected with them for the longest. At the same time, Donald Trump is in bed with the bankers also. You know what I'm saying? He's in bed. You know, he's a Zionist. You know, he's about sending that power to Israel. You know, Israel. Israel and the Vatican, the only two nations in the world that aren't part of the UN. The only two. So they, you know, they do their own thing, man, and you know he's about empowering them. You know, where the bankers are. That's basically the headquarters right there, if you ask me. It's a pick your poison, man. They're in their own little war. You just really can't get too caught up on playing the sides when it comes to, you know, it's just like the Democrat and Republican when it comes to, you know, Donald Trump getting into these different negotiations and refusing help and, you know, these little trade, you know, these trade agreements and different things like that. It's like, you know, it's a pick your poison type of situation, you know, the lesser of two evils type of thing. Either one is going to lead you to hell.
I mean, most of us already going there anyway.
Yeah.
According to the Bible.
You're gonna be hell. I mean, it's not even saying going to it because I mean, this is already. It's like hell on earth, man. You know what I'm saying? We can, you know, of course, we can do anything. We can make the best of the situation, but this is not. This ain't right. You know, we don't know. We don't even know what we're dealing with. We're getting new information right now with supposed virus and just seeing so much discourse over the, you know, all across the world. You see the situation allegedly over there in China. They're kicking black people out of the hotels and kicking them out of their homes and leaving them without options. You know, they got doctors talking about trying to run tests on people in West Africa.
That shit was wild.
Here in America, they're reporting, like I said, these are just facts. You know, it's not necessarily the truth because I personally can't confirm these for myself, but you know, like it's saying black people are leading the mortality rate when it comes to this now. You know, just a month ago we were foolishly proclaiming that, you know, we couldn't get it, you know, without any
allegedly
without any proof, man.
Allegedly, what happened was
foolishly.
They were like, I was like, oh, so y'all think it's cute. Y'all can't get this coronavirus. Let me go ahead and tweak this, move this to here. Put some black DNA right there. Bingo, got your asses. Laugh now.
And you think, you know,
cry later.
You know, thing that's been brought up, you know, is, you know, one thing we don't look at is the diet. And our diet, man, you know, like I said over again, you look at the Georgia Guidestones, man, why that monument is even up and why, you know, the number one thing that it says is keep the population under 500 million. When you're talking about, you got all of this land, all of this vast fucking land here in America. And you got half the fucking population in 9 cities, I believe. Half of the population lives in 9 cities just here in America alone. You got all this land, but you know, like I've always said, nobody wants to do the hard work. There's people with farms. I know somebody, you know what I'm saying, their uncle has a farm, man, and he's the only one that will help his uncle tend to it. It's something for the whole family, and the uncle's looking for help, but the rest of the family wants no part of it because it's hard work.
Yeah.
It's inconvenient, man. And so that's, you know, that's just what we've, you know, we're just so accustomed to convenience. We're so accustomed to convenience, and they're making everything just easier. You know what I'm saying? The 5, you know, they talk about the 5. No, let me not say it. The 1, 2, 3, 4 blank G. They've been talking about that for, you know, I've been aware of it for 2 years now. They've been talking about the health aspects. I'm not even talking about. I'm not conflating. I'm not comparing it or saying it has anything to do with what's going on now. But I'm just talking about that in general. That's your internet. How much faster does your internet have to be? How much faster does your internet have to be? I mean,
Oh,
okay,
I mean, I need mine to be a little bit faster, man. It's too many motherfuckers in my house, man. I'm getting ready to start charging my kids for this internet, man.
$20 a
and
pop.
even with 4G, it's been talked about
Yeah.
the health problems that even come with that, and so they're offering 5G. They always got the new phones, and there's always going to be somebody there willing to. There's always going to be a need and a demand for more.
So do you think that as businesses start to reopen, that people are just gonna that a majority of people are going to just go back to what they was doing?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean when I say that, and I reference to when we opened the podcast, but the nail salons, you know what I'm saying, all of these
Those are small
extra
businesses.
services that people feel like
Those are small businesses. I don't know if a lot of small businesses will be able to jump back into this, or jump back into being what they were once before.
Well,
Small businesses, it's gonna be hard for small businesses, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, but this is the one thing that I think. It's the one thing I feel about that, because I do agree that some small businesses are absolutely suffering as a result of this. You know, of course, the government's offering stimulus for them as well.
Those are getting changed every day.
But how many? Here's my thing though, is that if those businesses close, another business is going to open. You know what I'm saying? It may be the same business, it may be something different, but another business is gonna spring up, you know. And I mean, if it's, I guess you have to look at it, you know, for maybe the tax purposes and things of that nature. Because I mean, can you honestly not do somebody's nails at your house? I'm just asking. You know what I'm saying? Can you not pay for the big building? You know what I'm saying? Because if your service is on point, you know, your loyal customers will go wherever you go.
That's factual.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go wherever you go. So if your service is there, you won't necessarily, I guess, need the brick and mortar as much as you think you do. Maybe you take, you know, some of those money and put it in advertising and just tell people where you are. Now the other side to that is that, you know, you separate your business from your personal.
Yeah.
So do you really want that many people rolling up to your crib? You know?
It's mainly stuff like that is mainly for those businesses that have, you know, employees, you know, have employees and different things like that that have to be paid for the most. I mean, you know, shit, most of the motherfuckers that we're gonna really need like these business loans and things like that, and are people who fuck off their money, man. That's just the absolute truth. People who are dependent on that back end money. You know, I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. I just took people who are watching, because I know they're gonna say, "Oh, it's always got to be black people and things like that." You know, black people. We just been taught. You know what I'm saying? We've been taught in this front, like I said, from the media that we've been, you know, given. We've been taught to, you know what I'm saying, really focus on, you know, material type of things. That's why, you know, every nigga, you know what I'm saying, talk to it, all trying to go to the strip club, throw out bands. Everybody's trying to stunt, shit like that. Not everybody. But like I said, a hit dog a holler. So y'all got a problem with that, you know what I'm saying? Holler. Holler at me. You know, it's just reality. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, everybody trying to stunt, everybody, you know, trying to, you know, take trips and, you know, just different shit like that, you know, instead of, you know, really being patient, and it's not just black people. A lot of people do that, but like I said, it's I know my folks. I know what I've experienced, what I've witnessed, you know, the people, you know what I'm saying? I this is from firsthand account. We got a bad tendency to live, you know what I'm saying?
Above our means.
You know, live up to our means. So, you know, it's that those are going to be the main people sitting up there trying to get this. The ones that are sitting up there foolishly expecting that, you know, the money, the business, everything is going to be there. Everything's going to be there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But with the way that they do business, because, you know, like I said, not everybody's going to be able to do it out of their house and different things like that they don't want to. You know, that's too close to home. You know, having customers or, you know, trying to find a spot, you know, on the street or just anywhere. It's a tough task. So it's different things like that. It's mainly the people who don't use that foresight. You know, they go with that YOLO type of mindset and shit. You know, like I've always said, you know, y'all talk about, you know, you only live once and tomorrow's not promised, but, you know, what happens when you wake up tomorrow? What happens when you wake up tomorrow? You know, it's just common sense. You definitely gotta live in the moment, but at the same time be cognizant of what's to come. You gotta possess both of that, and you know, it's just one of those typical human flaws, just in general, man. So no, man, everything's it's. I don't know what normal. Shit has been way off, man. Shit has been way off. I mean, it ain't nothing been. I guess this is just the status quo. Everything that you see going, I wouldn't even necessarily say this is all an oddity. You know what I'm saying? This is the norm. We sitting in our houses. We're at the mercy of, you know, government. They fining people $1,000. You know, walking and all the social distancing. You got celebrities all talking the same crap, you know, talking the same script. But it's not an oddity. It's a normalcy. This is just an extension of what we've seen, our inactivity of, you know, the things that we've been preparing for. When you see, you know, police violating rights and things like police violating rights, when you see your federal government violating your rights, your human rights and things like that. It's the stuff that's been going on. So this is just a normalcy, you know what I mean? And I'm not talking about, we could have done the social distance and we could have chose to do this on our own. And it's up to us. It really is. You know what I'm saying? It's up to us in the end. If people don't want to follow that, that's just something that we have to deal with on our own. We are the true government. We can't blame the government for none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, as much as we want to, we only know what we know. We've only born into what we know. But, you know, at this point, it can't be a fucking excuse, no more. Once you realize it, once you get that spark, you got to run with that shit, because you know, it's too late for all the, you know, let me give time to try to figure out and shit like that. Like, you got to figure this shit out. Your life's done changed. Sitting in the house, people sitting up there on unemployment, sitting there they depending on this money, man. They depending on this money. Like I said, it's just by the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? I had to miss a couple weeks, man, but it's just by the grace of God that I'm able to work, because I put my money to the side just for situations like this. This is what I always expect. Also, I always put my money to the side. I'm not worried about getting fresh and different things like that, man. But you know, it's always some type of excuse with niggas.
I always wondered why you wore that Raiders hat. Now I understand.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't trying to get fresh. I get it.
Hey, I gotta give me another hat. Oh no, this the epitome, man. What you mean, man? This the epitome. This the dapper. This dapper Dan right here, man. Cream of the crop. Nah, man, man, it's always an excuse for something, man.
Yeah.
All those little dollars, man, that we spend on just so many dumb things. Oh, I'm bored. It's, you always hear grown ass Negroes talking about I'm bored. Stuff like, y'all gotta get out of that mentality. If you're bored, find something to do. Find some more money to make. But no, what
exercise.
We want to eat. Yeah, exercise.
Read a book.
You're choppy, Corey.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I agree with you, man.
I saw a video the other day. Did y'all see that video on Facebook? Chick is in the kitchen. You saw all that, and she got the yams and pouring, just pouring sugar all over the yams. Get the cinnamon, pouring cinnamon all over the damn yams. This is in her kitchen, her restaurant. And I'm like, and I'm like, this is what motherfuckers do. Because we'll get the yams, we'll get served them. We don't see how this get made. We'll get served them. We'll be like, man, these the best damn yams in the town. You know what I'm saying? Yams. But it's also the ones that's going to send you grave. And so when a situation like this comes, your immune system is shot. Mm-hmm. And your immune system is shot. And that's not to say that people with good immune systems aren't getting fucked off. But you have to, it's all about, like I've always said, percentages and probabilities. You have to put up a fighting chance. You have to put up a hostile environment in your body. But, we just sit up there eating seafood and fucking eating chicken and what fried chicken and all the fried fish and drinking pop and ain't had water and got every excuse to why we can't. Then then you got every excuse to why you don't want to live. And most of us got children. So that's
So let me ask a question. So we all on social media, Facebook, Insta, all that stuff. Man, my daughter got me abbreviating. I just said Instagram. And you see a lot of these posts where people are saying, support small business because those are the ones that really need it now. So if you're gonna go out and spend money, whether it's on food or whatever the case may be, just support small business, give your money to small businesses because the Walmarts and all those big conglomerates are going to survive through this regardless. Do you agree, disagree, no opinion? What do you think?
You said support small businesses
instead of the conglomerates and such.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, if you want to, keep everything, close to, like I said, the big boys ain't, they ain't really did. They gonna get their money regardless.
Gonna have to fire a few people.
And if you fire a few people, man. If you fire a few people,
get too caught up. We're the ones that put. We're the ones that get too caught up into, looking at, everything. It's like we gotta do this and gotta. Like I said, it's all convenience. It's everything that's right there. Mm-hmm. We are the government. We are the government. We are the, we are what make this system go around. We are what approves this. If we don't push back on different things, and what I say that the relativity of what I'm saying that is to, about is, even keeping these big corporations in check. But everything has a different type of already aura, of how it's already been perceived throughout life. Just like here we go. I'm talking about niggas again. We talk about everybody wants to be the boss. The boss. But when I talk about being a boss is a position just like the damn person who's scraping the floor. You just have even more of a responsibility, right? But I look at like Dame Dash. You look at Dame Dash talking about, why are you not a boss and things like that. And if you're not a boss, you just saying all type of different things without really putting it into perspective. Not everybody can be boss. Everybody has a position to play. And those are the things that have fucked him off because he doesn't realize the position he plays. Because now what happens, always as a boss, you're still at the mercy of something. You're at the mercy of the public because if nobody purchases your product, you don't get your money or whatever is your personal bartering system. If they're not able to achieve those type of things, if they're not able to gather those goods, for you to make that type of purchase, that fucks up your business. So we get too caught up in the, I'm boss, boss mode and things like that. And like, it's a position to play just like anything else. And you're always at the mercy of the people, of the public. The public runs you. You know what I'm saying? But once the people understand that, that's the hard part. And whether that can be done or not, it's just we just gotta do our part and get to every person as much as possible. And not only that, show it and be the example. So it just you gotta working with your small business. That's always gonna be the best way. Working with the people around you, your family members. Now you can't just do it because he's black or he's family, because ain't everybody right. But make that, at least make it a priority, and then go from there. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be certain things and people that you don't, who knows who's right or wrong in this situation, but it's going to be certain people that you don't necessarily mix with. So I don't want nothing to do with that. That's perfectly fine, but at least start from there and make that the priority, because if you start to focus on that and putting more energy into the people around you, it's more likely to reciprocate. You know what I'm saying? It's more likely to reciprocate, and it'll put, saying it that just spreads out. It spreads like a wildfire.
Yeah. Randy, before you jump in, I just want to drop this nugget on them, since you brought up the boss. Good bosses understand that the power is in the people, one way or another, whether the people are their employees or whether people are consumers. Mm-hmm. The power is in the people. So a good boss understands that, and he uses that to his advantage. Mm-hmm. Understand that. You know what I'm saying? A good boss is not out there flexing. He's empowering his employees to go out there and make that money from the people that consume the products. Mm-hmm. So always understand that. Like good bosses understand that concept. You know what I'm saying? And they roll with that. I mean, hell, look at the damn mafia. I mean, for real. Look at the mafia. You know what I'm saying? I know I need my consumers to do this, so I'm gonna pay somebody to go do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna empower them to do everything that they can do, as long as they don't, cross me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we just want to drop that. But Randy, go ahead and jump in here, man. You over there being quiet, and I know you, Mr. Crypto. That's why I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Crypto. I know you got something to say.
Nah, money, man.
Nah, I'm just doing investments and doing a bunch of research. That's the main thing I'm doing. But yeah, man. Like with these.
Now you want to be modest.
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, with these all
right, I'll be quiet.
Yeah, but with these with these government loans that they're giving out for the small businesses and businesses and stuff like that, I just want to literally let everybody know to check on these things every day, because they're changing them every single day. Like literally, they started out with everybody's gonna get $10,000 in small business. Then it's $1,000 up to $10,000 per person that works for your business. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if those people do not work for your business anymore, if you furlough them and and you get the $10,000 or the $1,000 or whatever for them, that you could be charged next year for that person not working. So you got the money for them, but they're not working, so you will be charged. You will be charged for that person next year. I just want to make sure everybody does their research and checks that stuff every single day, because the verbiage is changed every single day. All these updates and stuff like that, all this stuff is being changed. So if you're a small business, big business, make sure you take a look into it. If you want to listen to somebody else, that's fine. But if I was you, I would look into it myself. And I don't have a small business or nothing like that, but I'm looking at this stuff every day, because this stuff affects my job. This stuff could affect everybody else's jobs and other people's stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you said what?
This is a small business. I thought, well, don't be shortchanging us, man. This is a small business, man.
Well,
I'm just playing.
I was about to say. Well,
I'm not playing, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
Hard time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just saying it's little things like that you just have to pay attention to, and that's why I'm so to use a crypto term, bullish on all the stuff that I'm on right now. You know what I'm saying? So like literally, my whole routine has changed this whole entire month. Like the last month and a half, my whole entire routine has changed. I used to listen to podcasts, you know what I'm saying, informational stuff. Now it's all
and that's all he gonna tell you. He ain't gonna tell you nothing else. His whole routine change, he ain't tell you nothing else because his secret to success is his secret.
Not really.
Velour robes. He drinks his tea with his pinky up. You know what I'm saying?
Man, shit, all right, man. I gotta do this. I gotta do this right quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, I just had this come across my ESPN feed. So Trump is putting together an advisory board to help reopen the economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I saw that. Yeah, the clown, the little clown.
Adam Silver.
What?
Adam Silver.
Okay.
Robert Kraft.
We are fucked.
And Dana White's on the advisory board. I just want to point that out. I didn't mean to mess you up. I saw that come across and I said, "This is
yeah, that's wild.
That's ridiculous.
That's
None of the
wild.
three of them need to be on the board." I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm gonna put in my Trump. I'm gonna send you my resume tomorrow. I want to join too.
I understand his cabinet is like literally going against him right now. But damn, what was you saying, Corey?
That's funny because all of those are people. You know what I'm saying? I don't play any side. You know what I'm saying on this. Like I said, it should be on the people. It's funny because those you talking about an advisory board, and you talking about sports owners. I maybe it's something I'm missing. One thing to take from that is, you know what I'm saying, more than likely they're more likely to want to rush it back because they want to get their money. You know what I'm saying? They're losing money.
They want to get their money because they still got to pay everybody.
You got to pay everybody. You got all these players, man. You got to pay these cats. So they're going to try to find any way possible. It's possible Trump's going to try to exploit it to his advantage, or see everything looks right, and different stuff like that. Just like China, China, over there, just all of a sudden their cases just stopped. It's
right.
It's hard to believe stuff.
I wouldn't
it's
believe
hard
anything.
to believe little stuff like that. We sit up there. We got people that sit there and repeat to be like, "Oh, you see what China and South Korea did? Stay in the house." And mainly women doing this crap. Stay in the house so we can get back. You know what I'm saying? You see how they doing over there, not understanding that those are communist countries, man. You don't want nothing to do with none of that. And just things like this is where we got to start. Because we talk about, the practical things and things that we see, but there has to be a study. And that's what I was alluding to today when I want to talk about, I wanted to start having more conversations with the church and different things like that, because I want to start having a serious conversation with people and having an understanding to as much degree. We may not ever be able to get the full answers, but try to have an understanding of so-called spirituality, so to say. I'm a believer in it because of only because of my personal experiences and what I've witnessed for myself. I'm a believer in different, in whether it's higher power, whether it's our power, who knows? I'll call it the higher power. Maybe it's the higher power that's not recognized within us, who knows? But there's something more out there. There's an order out here. Not everything is called, even to the point to where I believe that not everything is cause and effect. Some things are just
natural.
Some things just can't be explained. And because if everything was cause and effect, we would think we could avoid everything, and we don't have all the answers to everything, the why certain things happen, but there is something more out there, and I think we get outside of that. Once we start
I do know why fools fall in love, though.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said I do know why fools fall in love, though. I can.
Once we start having serious conversation about that, it'll fortify the heart of everybody, because
That'll never
what the
happen.
main problem, and like I said, you can't necessarily blame everybody or people. It just, it's terrifying even to think about this, the specter of death and things like that. So it makes it hard to even stand upon, the principles and what you believe is right. Because, what if they say, what if they say the economy, saying you need to be locked in your house forever. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but like I said, you got people, they talking about 2022 and different things like that. They talk about social distancing, they're fining you. What if they tell you it's against the law to protest, form, mobilize and form together, which, those are how militias come together. So they start, sending a military and different things like that. It's different stuff like that. And like I said, this economy doesn't run without us. So what are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? Slaughter us all? What are they going to do? Slaughter us all? It's just different
They
things like
might.
that. Huh?
They might.
I
Possible.
mean, and that's what it is. But you can't. If there's nothing to control, you know what I'm saying? Then what? If there's nothing to control, then what? And this is all just ideal thinking. This is all ideal thinking. Like I said, the reality is, we don't know what the pushing point, we don't know what the breaking point is. We've just been so pacified, man, because we got it good, man. We got
That's
it
facts.
good. You know what I'm saying? Our military, our government goes over there, man, and slaughters, man, so we can
So
we
we
can
can kick
sit
back.
back, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying, and be on Netflix, different
drink
stuff like
Coronas.
that. They do what they do. They do their evil so we can have the convenience that we have. And like I said, shit feels good, but you always, it's like health, everything, all the stuff that's best for you is the stuff that is the toughest. And are we? I just wonder, are we even past that point? You know what I'm saying? Are we even past that point as a society? Because that's the solution. That is the absolute solution. You've got to, if you want to make the true change, you just have to get away. If you don't, you know what I'm saying, then we'll just continue to keep asking questions on, we can figure out how to move within the belly of the beast, but that's about it. You're still going to be within the belly of the beast. You know what I mean? So you're always going to be at their mercy. And so,
All right. So I mean, hey, look, people, man. Y'all better eat this food we feeding y'all, man. Y'all better eat this food we feeding y'all, man. We dropping lots of knowledge over here. After you do the playback on this, go do your own research, man. If we lying, what I'm saying, let us know. Drop a comment. Everywhere we at. Facebook, YouTube. Drop them wherever you can drop them. If you think that we lying to the people, let us know. What I'm saying, fact checkers. We'd be happy to be fact checked if we're correct or if we're incorrect, and we'll be happy to go on the air and apologize to the people. But I mean, I just gotta say, as we come out of this, man, be extremely careful, be extremely mindful of how you reintegrate everything that you've been doing, because I could say personally that I've had a great time. I've had a great time being in the house. You know what I'm saying? And it's also made me really understand the deficiencies in myself and what I need to do when not only when things open back up, but just on a tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding how undisciplined I've become in certain areas and just reconnecting to the basics so that, I can really create a true impact, in general, and I'm talking about mind, body, and soul. You know what I'm saying? Exercise. You don't need no gym. If this ain't taught you, you don't need no gym. You're
Mm-hmm.
sorry. You know what I'm saying? Meditation, getting your mind right,
That's good.
clearing your mind and understanding that, this is a marathon.
Not a
This ain't no
sprint.
sprint. This is a marathon. So all that instant gratification and all that, like, understand to get it the sustainable way, it takes time. And that's just the honest to God truth. You think that these fools that's out here doing this crazy shit started this last week? They've been doing this for centuries, for bloodlines, just spreading poison. So they get it. We need to get it now. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be able to, have rebuttals and, be willing to stand up and be like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Not on my watch. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of death. Be afraid of dying for no reason. Like, don't be afraid of death. Just be afraid of dying for no reason, because death is imminent. It's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to come, but it's going to happen. So take the time to make your life impactful for the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to hop off here. For those that shared, I saw the clergy checked in. So good to hear from you. Everybody that tunes in, whether it's you tune into the live show or you listen to it later, please hit the share button. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck if you hit the like button, but if you want to share and really truly open up this conversation, most definitely do it. I'm gonna jump over here to Corey. You know what I'm saying? Corey wants to drop another for y'all. But definitely, man, like, do your own research. Be mindful, be intelligent about your moves. Go ahead, Corey.
I just want to, one more time, I want to remind y'all about what is being discussed. This isn't for fear. You got to be prepared for these different things. Everything is comedy and shit like that. There has to be a form. You got to understand what you're dealing with. This is what they're telling you exactly on your television. We talked about mandatory vaccinations. These are the people that they're parading. Mandatory vaccination. Not saying that it's happening, but this is what's been discussed and bounced around. Mandatory vaccinations, not just to go to school, but to actually leave your house. Vaccination certificates. Bill Gates has been everywhere talking about that. To travel, not just out of state, but in your state, just to leave your home or putting you on. Not only that, you got Donald Trump sitting up there. These are the people who are supposed to be your leaders. Donald Trump and people who supporting them talking about reopening the economy. He doesn't have that power. That it's up to each state. You have to look at the governor in your state. It is up to each state, because the second you see Donald Trump talking about making these federal mandates, that's a human rights violation. They do not have that type of power. You've seen things, and they already tracking, but you've seen things talking about the Google tracking. They're tracking and doing these reports on how many people and giving grade cards on social distancing and things like that. Like I said, they always try to make these things.
Oh, we about to be China.
Huh?
I said we about to be China.
You said what?
We're about to be China. I don't know.
They were already talking about Google was tracking people here. China's been tracking people too
for years.
But China's going to enforce those type of things. But when I'm talking about Google tracking, because think of what that entails. If you're talking about trying to meet up place and trying to get off the grid, are you gonna? I mean, you can do what you want to do, but you're gonna take your phone with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you sitting up there over in the Ozarks or somewhere, and all of a sudden you see the vans and you see the military start pulling up. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna know what it is. So, it's been spoken about in a harmless way, but these are just things that you got to have foresight about. You got the director of the World Health Organization talking about removing people from homes because of the threat that they pose, and not only him talking about that, but now they discussing that same thing with Rachel Maddow on MSNBC and different things like that. And just think about how all of the people think about, not only that, the fact that they found out that a lot of the tests were contaminated. There's been false tests. all type of different things. It's even been a report, like I said, and I say report because we don't know the truth. It's been a report that a lot of the tests it has a only a 20% accuracy rate on the testing. So you're putting people in jeopardy just on false tests and talking about removing them from their homes, and because they pose a risk for your family, you don't have the right to do that. So not even your home is safe. They're sending you off to some facility or whatnot. And then you're talking
these loud ass kids, it might be doing me a favor.
Yeah, then you got the
come get me.
Man, for real. Go get these motherfuckers. Go take me. Go get these motherfuckers for these crazy motherfuckers. Nah, and then then last
just playing, don't come get me. Don't come get me. I'm just playing.
Last but not least,
pulling your leg.
Black people, you know what I'm saying? They admitted themselves that they haven't done any real numbers, you know what I'm saying? Haven't done any real numbers on who is actually catching it when it comes to, race or ethnicity. They haven't done any real numbers. So, and they said that themselves. So where did these numbers come from?
You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because we are now starting to pose a threat again. So you got to start putting that media out there. To quench that, man.
Yeah.
Because the great J. Edgar Hoover said that the Negro is the most feared person in the United States. Never forget that. And I'm not saying that because I hate white people, because my bride is white. You know what I'm saying? But you got some. Hey, look, man. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that.
They have an actual.
That has been put out there since they brought us on the boats. Because you got to understand, they didn't think that we would survive the boat. They didn't even think we would survive the boat. So yeah, well, them some tough motherfuckers. They survived every condition that was on that boat and made it over here. Yeah, that's why they scared.
Look up the FBI and the look up the FBI files on the Black Messiah. Look up the FBI files on the Black Messiah. This is real. Not only that, but look up the FBI files on Martin Luther King. They were actually studying his family for 100 years before he was even born. Things that just make you think, man. It's just things that just make you think, man. They were studying his family for 100 years. So just pay attention, and leave these damn celebrities the fuck alone. I mean, use them for what they are, tap dance, but don't revere these people, man, because they as you seeing, like I said before, man, they not doing anybody a damn thing. They not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? They're not paying attention to the same. They're not going to pay attention to the same type of media. All they're going to do is push the same narrative, because they know if they say anything outside of those lines, they're gonna lose that money. So
say goodbye to Hollywood.
It seems like all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, everybody's not a monolith, but all of a sudden everybody's saying the same crap. Everybody's on the same page except for Lil Boosie. Hey, I gotta tell you,
shout out to Lil Boosie.
If y'all get a chance, look at Lil Boosie's Breakfast Club interview.
That shit fire.
He crazy too. He out of his damn mind too. But man, that shit is something else, dog. He wasn't having none of that shit. He thinking on his own wavelength. I say that much. He on that nigga shit, but he thinking on his own wavelength, man. He ain't letting them go. So I definitely got to respect that, man.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm done, man. I ain't got nothing else.
Mr. Crypto, what you got for us, brother?
With all that being said, man, first and foremost, before we bounce out of here, man, I want to send in my condolences to the EMT that passed away yesterday via the COVID-19 in Kansas City. I want to make sure I send my condolences to your family, man. I want to say I say this every day to my brother, to my homies and my homegirls and stuff like that who are in these positions where they're doctors, nurses, and stuff like that. It's just like, yo, my heart goes out to you, to y'all every day, man. I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Even if I don't know y'all, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man, putting your lives on the line. So yeah, man, I just want to make sure I say all that. This has been another episode of Word on the Av, with Lauren, Corey, and your ignorant, eclectic, mad genius. With all that being said, man, we're out. Peace.